All right, everybody. It is 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We are about to get rocking and rolling for the weekend review. This past week was a really a good trading week. Really bad price action, which is pretty common for the first week of the year. We're going to do a little bit of review on the trades that we took. Then we're also going to look at the week upcoming, and then we're going to have our drawing. Our weekly drawing for the this week is a $25,000 funded account challenge giveaway. Um, I'm excited. Let's jump right into it. Let's not waste much time. All right, let's see. We're going to share screen one. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, let's start out talking about the week. So let's pull over our, I don't know that I would call it trusty, my FX book for the week. There is that. Showing you guys everything's verified. 10.5%, 9% gain. Only traded 2 days this week. Not a lot of good price action. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Showing we had an 85% winning. I had just over, I'm not sure how they calculate drawdown here. My max drawdown was about 1.1%. Is about where my max drawdown fell for the week. I'm not sure why 0.22 is the only thing that shows up. But in all honesty, this is the $1,000 account that we started this past week. We're going to see where we end up at the end of the year with this $1,000 account. I believe anybody can put $1,000 in an account at some point. If they're ready to go live trading, they should be able to. At least start with something like that in their investing career. Some people may start with more, but I think this is a good number that most anybody would be able to afford when they're ready to live trade and they've already done their demo and they've kind of sunk in. So that's why I chose this number to start this account with. And like I said, we had bad price action this week, but pretty good list. The couple trades that we did lost was mainly because of slippage with broker. But we're going to have losses. I promise you. Matter of fact, I assure you, we're going to have losses this year. The most important thing is have more wins than losses when it comes to value of money. So a 10% gain. The reason I didn't trade much, number one, price action was bad. Number two, my goal was met. I have a goal of 10% per week. If I reach those numbers, I'm not going to give the market an opportunity to get that money back. So that was the reason we stopped. So we're going to jump right into why I took those trades. And we're going to kind of squeeze in. If you haven't seen, I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight. One of the strategies that I use, one of my primary strategies. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but the annual market overview that I did really it goes pretty in depth into exactly how I trade, which we're going to go a little bit in depth here as well. So can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. I guess that would have been a good thing to start with there. Let's see. Let me make sure. I did just get a message. That's what made me think about that. Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Zach, what a story, by the way, buddy. What a story. Um, yeah, I will definitely explain drawdown percentage. Um, Actually, I just do that right now quickly. Drawdown percentage. And by the way, if you have a question, put it in the chat. And if I see it, I'll get to it in between or come back to it after. I'll take some questions and answers at the end of this as well, if you guys have them as far as trading style, stuff like that. But drawdown percentage is your total account value versus the negative equity that you're carrying on a specific trade or set of trades. So if you have 3 trades in the negative and you have 1% and each of them are down 0.7%, then your drawdown run if they're all there together. Just your total equity of your account versus the negative current trades that you have in play. It can also be how many trades you lose in a row as well. Your drawdown percentage, say you risk 1% per trade and you lose 5 trades in a row with all other trades closed out, then you would have had, and then you win the next one, then your max drawdown during that period would be minus 5% because you had a 1% loss in each trade. So it's just simply how far away you are from your total equity that you may have. All right, so let's jump into Euro USD. Looking back at the MyFX book here, You can see we traded this week the Euro USD, the SPX, and the NAS. We're going to go through each one of these trades. You can see these were on the 3rd, these were on the 5th, and we're going to talk about why each one of these trades were taken. I might as well. Just one second. I'm going to put where I can actually see the chat from the Discord community also. Just one second. Let's see. Didn't want anybody's private info showing. All right. Now, back to the streaming software. All right. Is everybody good? Everybody can see my screen again now, correct? Perfect. All right, awesome. So this is the 3rd. This is what's going through my mind. I've been watching price action. For those of you who know, my wife had surgery this week. That's why I have had limited screen time, and even getting alerts from the indicator that I've built based on my strategy. Even getting those alerts, which saves me a lot of chart time. Even getting those, I haven't had a lot of time to get to the chart, verify the things that need to be verified along with that position. Just because she had surgery, then we had a complication from the surgery. We ended up back at the emergency room. Just things have been a little bit chaotic. Plus, the price action's been really bad, which we'll talk about when we're going over some of the charts as we go into the outlook for the coming week. But here is the Euro USD trade. I think it very important to show what we have going on here. We have a massive spike down, a very low resistance run into a liquidity area. Ignore the blue boxes. The blue boxes have no meaning. They're just signifying the area in which the trade was taken. So I would be able to not be searching, trying to get into that as we're doing the live stream. So I'm going to span out here to the 15-minute chart. And I'm going to show you guys a significant difference between two pairs that correlate. And as you can probably see, these pairs move together. They move together pretty well, right? Here was the way this day went. They range trade, boom, breakdown. Range trade on the GBP USD, breakdown, moves up, breakdown, then it comes up. They trade together for the most part. So when you see things that are different and one pair moving from the other, there's some significant trading entries that can come from those times. And I'll show you something that happened significantly that caught my eye while I was setting on the charts, right? So we come down and we make this low. I'm going to remove these for now. And you'll see why in just a second, right? So I wonder if we can align these things. We can get them pretty close. There we go. So now they're aligned. You can see this is the same time. We come down and we make a low at 11 o'clock, okay? You can see the pound dollar eke its way back up, okay? Same here. We eke our way back up. With the euro dollar, they make a really aggressive move to the downside. And what do? We talk about it in the, in the annual when I was telling you guys, what are they going to seek? There are people in these positions that are counting on the market to turn around. They've been in buy mode in the market. They're wanting the market to go up, wanting it to go up. And they're thinking to themselves, okay, here's my turnaround time. Here's my turnaround time. They've went down there. They're going to go back after these areas of equal highs up here. They need to go back to this area. Now they're going to turn it around. So people are getting in here on the buy on both sides. On both sides. They know that they're going to go back in and draw on these areas of liquidity, right? Liquidity doesn't just come in the form of equal highs and lows. It can come in the in eyes of imbalance areas, order block areas, things like that. All of that holds liquidity in the market. Equal highs and lows are what I like to target because those are retail concept stop areas. And so I like to go stop hunting with the big institutions. So we have this low that happens. Well, here they make this run on these stops to get all these people that were buying. They wanted to get them out of the market. So the euro dollar, they slam down further. They break the low and the pound dollar doesn't. The pound dollar doesn't make that move. So here it is a very strong appearance that they've made a run on stops before they need to push back into this liquidity area. Now, where am I going to target? What am I going to target from this area? Well, I particularly like to target the 50 fib. For those of you that don't know about the Fibonacci, I want to target the 50 fib of this move, right? So I want to target somewhere about put this line here. So this would be a good target when price goes down a little further down here when they make that second push. Oh, look at where they went to. Look at where price rejected from. There's your 50 fib, right? So this is a good target area. Some people target the 48s in the Forex markets because of the spreads, things like that, or the 45 or wherever you feel comfortable. But this was my target. I knew if I could get in and get the right risk reward after confirmation of the trade, that this is something that I would get into and buy back into the 50 zone, buy back in that area if I could get the proper risk reward. So now we've got one confirmation, which is known as smart money divergence. So I'm gonna hop into the 1 minute now. Wow, took us all the way back to January the 2nd. All right, here we are, January 3rd. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit to kind of give you an idea. This is the low that we broke on the 1 minute. Now I want to see an aggressive move to the upside. I want to see some form of displacement, some aggressive move back towards the target that shows that the big money's coming into play now, right? So here we make our new low. Now we don't know this at the time. We just know we have a new low formed here because we had a new one here where we broke through. This is our new low. We really don't get a strong displacement, but what we do get is we get a pretty nice change of character here. And it didn't just change character, it kind of blew through that moment here. So even if you're looking at that as a change of character, or if you're conservative and you look at this as a change of character, we've got a pretty good change of character on the 1 minute. You go to the 2 minute, we've actually got some imbalance zones. We see some displacement beginning. I wasn't quite ready yet. I wanted to see one more because this was a pretty strong move to the downside. And the whole time on the pound dollar, price is eking down also. So I want to make sure it's not going to go into a lower zone also. I wanted to see a good fresh move that was really aggressive. And as you can see, we get that move right here. This is where I knew that we could begin to take a target. Okay, so this is actually where I got in the trade, was in this area here. I took it at this order block, the 1 minute order block, because we have a nice little imbalance zone in this area here. For the sake of this, I'm going to move this back here. That was where we broke the structure on the stop hunt. So we get this displacement here. We can see that, okay, we got some money jumping behind to push back that direction. So I set 2 pending orders. One of the pending orders was I risk 1% on each order was my risk. That's my tolerance. Okay. I had one at the order block here. And I also had one that was sitting just below this set of equal lows in case they came down and tagged those before moving up, which they did, right? So I get in one order here, one order here. So now I have 2% total risk throughout both positions. A lot of times I'll only risk 1% total, a half in each spot. So risk tolerance is something that you're going to have your own grasp on as you're growing and as you're trading. That's something that you have to manage, is your risk. This is my personal risk. Most of the time, I'm a 1% per position trader. This particular position showed me a lot of characteristics. So I was willing to open up 2% just to get the year started off, just to get a boost. And I knew I didn't have a lot of trading time this week. I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of the risk out there. Where did my stop loss go? Well, I wanted to go below the new low, right? So I didn't have one of these incredibly tight stop losses like some of these people. So even though I was buying out of this order block area here, I had this imbalance to support that as well, these equal lows. I still set my stop just in case of slippage or anything going on with the broker. I set my stop to here with actually a little bit of padding with it as well. My target, simple. I wanted 1 to 2 on each trade. But when price started to move, I actually started moving my target closer and closer to the 50. So I actually was targeting 1 to 3 is where I end up getting out of 1 to 3, and one trade was a little more than 1 to 3 because it was we had a little bit better price value because we bought a little bit deeper in the zone. And so where would 1 to 3 have ended up? I'll show you on a chart. So we're going to take our little tool here. We're going to say, okay, and then we're going to add 113. So we're looking for a total on this move. We're looking for about 42 pips total. Okay, so this was actually about where I got out of the trade here. This hit my 1 to 3 target. I was good. I didn't need anything more. Everything had confirmed. Everything had happened. So let's go over that again just so you guys can understand why I got into the trade, where I got into the trade at, right? So we have an aggressive move to the downside that did not match what the correlating pair had done, right? So we're going to call that a smart money divergence. That is paired by ICT, Michael Huddleston. So we had that in play. We had pretty good move from the new low that we appear to be our new low. Then we have a displacement, a nice aggressive move up that re-breaks this first level of the first push up. And then we set our pending orders at the 1 minute order block. And I set one order just beyond that 1 minute order block because we had some equal lows there that made sense for them to push price back down into that area and swoop before moving up. Our overall target, we knew we had a nice window because even if we were going to target the 50 fib, we had plenty of space to get our 1 to 3 in between. That's how I trade. Maybe you trade with 1 to 5, whatever it is. However it breaks down in your mind. This is just the way I trade. Okay. But everything works out. Everything happens really quickly. Everything hits our targets. And you can see from the results that particular day, we had let's pull it over. That particular day, we had just over a 6% gain. Right here, let's see. Yep, so 6.42% gain, right? Because this is a $1,000 account that we put just to start the year with. Okay, this is a live account, by the way. I think you guys should understand. I have massive respect for guys that even trade in demo and doing it on live stream because I was live streaming when doing this. It's a completely different feel. It's a completely different. I don't care how good of a trader you are, how long you've been doing it. Live stream trading is different. There's just no way to describe it. It's very difficult because what we don't want is we don't want you taking trades based on our analysis. We want you to learn to analyze like we do so you can take your own positions. Okay. So you can see that was the first trade of the week. Now let's cover the second trade of the week, which was the NASDAQ and the SPX. Same, a very similar situation. Price on the higher time frames goes down. It takes out a pretty good amount of liquidity positions. Sell side here, that makes this big move to the downside. We end up in this order block area here. Okay, so on a higher time frame, looking at this as an order block on the SPX. The reason I was looking at the SPX specifically for this move was because my account isn't large enough to really trade the US 30 based on how it moves. That I would be gambling at that point. I would get outside of my risk comfort. I don't like putting mass risk in the market. The second thing we did was we broke this liquidity zone here on the NASDAQ. So normally I would have jumped in a NASDAQ trade pretty strong here. And I actually did on my other live accounts, which I won't even really start trading those until the middle of February. But this position really lined up for a quick move for me. All right. So when I saw liquidity pulled out of the market, same thing. This one went deeper than this one did. I was expecting a reversal. Okay. So I'm going to hop over. I'm going to go back to the 1 minute. And I'm actually going to put, let's see, 1 minute and 1 minute. Let's go back to those spots. You can see the displacement that we get and why. Okay. So I'm now going to, let's get over to where our entry was, which was here. Okay. So now as I'm watching the 1 minute chart, I'm going to get rid of this block. Now, as I'm watching the 1 minute on the SPX, something happens that doesn't happen on the NASDAQ. So let me get over here to the same chart so we line up. January 5th, right here. What happens? We come down and we take out a short-term low that was put in place here. Same situation we had the Euro USD, GBP USD. We had a divergence that showed a possibility. So instead of jumping in this trade, I wanted to see how price action was going to move. I wanted to see if this low was going to get taken because I didn't get all my confirmations, but I got several good displacement moves that were good enough for me to be able to say, okay, I'm going to take some small risk, and I end up with a 1% risk here. And so I'm looking at this area the whole time. We get this push up. We break this short-term structure. We push up strong out of that. We come back, we reject. We come back again and reject. But what we have now is we have this set of equal lows here. And I wanted to see what was going to happen here. So I set a pending order in this order block area here with a stop loss being here. When price returns back, it takes out this segment of relative equal lows that were here It comes down, boom, tags them, and then off to the races it goes. This trade was ended in 5-6 minutes. I mean, it was bam. I wanted 1 to 2. I wanted to be out of the market. Price action was really bad. You can see this set of equal highs that I was targeting here. And I actually got out even before that. I got out just beyond this high. I read it this high here, this old high from this side. So even though I figured it was coming here, I had gotten my 10% for the week, hopped out of the market. Okay. So the SPX trade, same here on this trade here. When we came down and got into this trade, when this, I could tell this was that sweep on liquidity, that one last run on liquidity. Here, they come down. I bought out of the order block on this side here. Why did I do that? Same reasons. We swept these lows. I saw this massive line of equal highs right here that just boom, 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 boom. Figured they had to go there. So I was going to snag 1 to 2. We go in, we dive in the market, we get our 1 to 2 with slippage because price was moving so strong. As you could, these are 1 minute candles. This thing moved quick. Like I said, this was 5 or 6 minutes. We were one and done, and I'm off the computer and out of here because the target was hit for the week. 10.59%. I was done. Done. So once I hit the target, I was done for the day. So any questions that you guys have, go ahead and put them in the chat really quickly. Usman, just to let you know, 1 to 3 is my prime. That's where I like to live. I like to live in that 1 to 3 zone. If I go 50-50, if I win 50% of my trades at 1 to 3, I can make a really valuable living. If you guys have any, before I move on to the weekly outlook really quick, I'm going to go through a couple pairs on what we could look for, what we could see this coming week based on the price action, even though price action was really bad this past week. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in there in the chat. You can either put them in the Discord general chat, which I'm watching, or you can put them in the chat, the YouTube chat, or either one of the social media chats should also put them in the chat that I'm looking at through the software that I'm running. So if you have those, go ahead and put those in. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. But I see some people saying that they're scared of the 1 minute time frame. Some people love the 1 minute time frame. Guys, you have to be where you're going to be. Price action is the same whether you're trading 5 minute time frame, 1 minute time frame, 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, daily time frame, whether you want to be a swing trader, intraday trader, or a scalper. It's all there. It all functions the same. You just have to find the time frames that line up, and I'll be glad to help answer any questions with those. I like getting in and out of the market because these markets are crazy. I think they're only going to get crazier as we move into the year. Yeah, man, no problem. It's an honor to be here with you guys and spend some time with y'all. And then, of course, we're going to give the drawing away here in just a moment, in just a few minutes. As soon as we do the outlook, we're going to do the drawing as well. All right, so no questions. Perfect. Let's move on. Let's take a look at kind of where we are. I'm going to go ahead and remove all the objects from both charts. And then let's take a look at the markets from a daily perspective. And let's kind of, we know what we talked about in the year in review. Let's see. Oh, Zach, I don't ever place a trade without a stop loss, buddy. I'll make that 100% clear. Absolutely. I do not trade without a stop loss. All right, so let's take a look at where we are. I'm gonna zoom in one more time, and I'm actually gonna do these one at a time so we can full out the charts, make it a little bit better. If you guys have anything specific you want me to look at, other pairs, let me know as well. But we're gonna start here in the SPX and the Nasdaq. So here's what we got. We've got this consolidated mess, right? That kind of got us through the holidays and where we are. We have a really nice propulsion candle that is moving has moved really aggressively. That was the price action from Friday. Absolutely, Zach. 100%. I'll adjust higher and let it ride for sure. If the market's moving in my direction, I'll peel some of my profits off at certain points and let some profits ride, doing a partial close for sure. This past week was not a week that I would have chanced any of that just because the price action was so bad. I mean, we've been in this consolidated mode, you can tell here, for a couple of days. But if price is trending and we're moving with the trend and it's moving in our direction, definitely something I will absolutely I'll move my stops into profit once I peel it off, and then I'll move my take profit further and further and further away. So until they get to a certain point. So I do it. That's hard to do. it's hard to explain from a manual perspective, but yes, it's absolutely how that is one of the ways that I can increase my profits for sure. Yeah, man, no problem. So we've got this consolidated mess that we're in. We really haven't seen a breakout one way or another. What we do know is that we just came back and we took out a small area here, um, a liquidity void that was between these candles on the SPX, hence the rejection you see here. We also took out the equal highs on these 2 days that were here together in this up move here. So the first day of the market, so tomorrow, is going to be interesting to see if we're going to set a new high, new low. Things to watch for. Number one, there's a tremendous amount of liquidity beyond this. A lot of people are thinking, because the media is controlling us and pushing us, and they've got this narrative that they're continually building about gloom and doom, gloom and doom. Last week, what we did do is we did sweep some sell side liquidities, right? So we swept some sell side liquidity. I believe it was Tuesday last week. So Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah. So Tuesday, we swept sell side liquidity from this day here, set the low, and then we moved on up from there. It'll be really interesting to see. And here's the reason that I'm not sure if we go lower. I'm going to be watching price action. This candle the week before had swept liquidity and then pushed up, and we did not sweep that liquidity before breaking out of this short-term consolidated area that's inside of this daily stuff. So if I'm market makers right now, they could really utilize this moment at this little 2-day order block here. They could bounce off, come back down, and pull some more sell side liquidity before moving up. Here's what I know. There is an enormous amount of liquidity here. There is an even larger, enormous amount of liquidity here. I don't think they're going to leave this behind before the big move down that's coming. So what we have for the current week do not, because everything I do, I want you guys to understand, is based on current price action. We could have a short move up, making one little liquidity grab. We could come down. We could spend a week or two pushing down. But in the next 2 weeks, I fully expect the market to show us a direction by the end of January for what the first quarter is going to look like. Quarterly, it happens, right? It could look something like this. It could look something like this. We're going to see if we get the price action that shows. Right now, there's people looking at this candle going, wow, starting the year, maybe I can get in on the buy side. This thing looks like it's got a little bit of steam. So if we start seeing some positive media over the next couple of days about our markets, which we did, by the way, on Friday, I think they could sweep and then move up. So I think we're going to get, in my opinion, I think we're going to get one more sweep, but I won't know until the price action confirms. Period. Plain and simple. And the SPX, kind of similar with the NASDAQ. The difference with the NASDAQ is we are teeter-tottering around a massive area of liquidity here. I think this is the year low last year. Yeah, definitely the year low from last year. And there's just no way to overlook certain areas inside this market that they've left behind. I just don't see them leaving behind this area here. I don't see them leaving behind this area here. I even said I think 15.3 is a pretty good target to the upside on the NASDAQ. But I just have this gut feeling that we're going to get one more sweep. Nothing confirming that, just to be super clear. Usman, I'm super comfortable, by the way, in MetaTrader. I actually hate TradingView. The only reason I hate TradingView is just because I've never taken the time to learn how to use it. MetaTrader is something I'm comfortable with. That's why I use it. TradingView is a phenomenal platform, by the way. It's just something I like this program here. It's old school. But here's what I could expect. I could expect just kind of a similar situation. I think we can come up into this area here, into this little block, this order block area. We know there's a ton amount of sell side liquidity here. Buy side liquidity that's here. So we could come up into this area here. Let me do this right. We could come up into this zone here and then have one more push down to take this liquidity and then a move up, which is what just off of plain and simple, off of my gut feeling, I think this is what they're doing. based on what the media is doing. We had a bunch of positive media coming about stocks having this great first week, this great rally. I think they need to put a big fear campaign together, and I think it'll take a week or two for them to really beat it down. So the next week or two, we're going to be watching. Okay, so do we get a push up temporarily to bust through this zone and then come back here, have a big fear narrative, and then have one more big push up going after these areas here? That's what I expect. Or option two is they're just going to go ahead and run it out. They know they're coming back here anyway. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we know they're coming back there anyway. If it was me and I was pushing buttons and controlling the market, knowing that I needed to bust out retailers and this is the way the market's moved, if I was designing the algorithm that's behind it, this is what I would do. Boom, boom, boom. I would sweep. I would utilize every resource that I have to push into this area here, trying to get some excitement. I'd make one last sweep, being able to snag this liquidity here, this liquidity here. Then I would move the market up through the first quarter, possibly on into the second quarter, just a little bit into the second quarter. I don't know when it'll come or how it'll come. It will show us. It will tell us. It's going to be there. Okay. Price action will determine what we do here. As far as the U.S. stock market, the U.S. 30, it's pretty similar. I'm going to cover it really quickly. I don't think there's any reason to go into a lot of detail because it's all moving the same. So here's the daily. We have the same propulsion candle. We have a tremendous amount of liquidity back here that we could go take. Same thing. We're inside of this order block area here. We could get a push down and then a push up, and it would make sense based on current price action. It would make sense. You got this area here that is pretty distinct. The biggest thing for me is the primary area. I'm gonna go to the weekly to show it, but the weekly you can see these relative equal highs here that they could go take out. The most amount of momentum I think they could get in the market with the media behind is, oh my gosh, we're avoiding the recession. We're avoiding the recession. Stock market's hitting an all-time high. I can see it playing out in the media right now. I could see it playing. Stock market's at an all-time high, and the next thing we know, we wake up and it's down here. Not like literally overnight, but just that's a very, unfortunately, a very open possibility. So that's the weekly. The monthly kind of shows the same thing. They cleared a lot out, but go back to that review I did. These equal lows right here are something to keep an eye on. And that is not to build fear. It's just to make you guys aware of the possibilities that are there based on where liquidity sits in the market. It's scary times. I'm not scared for my family, and I'm not scared for what we're prepared for. I am scared for other people that aren't prepared. Let's take a look at gold really quick. Let's see, XAU. Didn't look at gold a lot last week. Yeah, it pushed up, just like we talked about this in the annual, that gold was going to be pretty strong. I even said, I think I made the exact comment that I was really bullish on gold last week, and looks like we did get plenty of bullish price action from gold. So gold is moving. Let's take a look at a little bit more short term, and we had some really powerful moves on Friday from non-farm payroll news that really bolstered gold. And I don't know that it's so much bolstered gold as it did crush the dollar that day. So one way or another, gold was bullish, just as we expected it to be. It went back. We actually talked about this, I believe, on the market review. We talked about this area, how important it was going to be, this liquidity void, and it reversed out of there. So go back to the annual market review that I did. I think I actually talk about this liquidity void here. And then I also had also mentioned these equal lows here. This could come in the same form as that stock market move, by the way. You could see this boom, boom, up and down. This up to down to back up move. You could see that. I could see that playing out the same way. But this just propelled the market right out of this liquidity void that we had discussed the other day. Short term, right now, I would be looking. Let's go look at the 15. Not a whole lot of liquidity they could come and sweep here. That would be about right. coming back. So this would be an area I'd be looking for a bullish potential, but it would have to give me some pretty extreme confirmation. Uh, it would have to get, matter of fact, it'd have to give me some really extreme confirmation because you got this set here. If they would have pulled the liquidity out of the market from this low here, I'd be more comfortable buying here. But looking at it the way it is, it may make sense for them to come on beyond that, back up into this, turn this into a breaker, and then move down further. Um, let's look at that move as an overall. Yeah, so that's the equilibrium point. So that'd be about right. Somewhere in that neighborhood there, you're going to get some form of rejection. I just think it'll be a short-term rejection. These equal lows are a little bit questionable. They could come up and take this area of liquidity out that we drew here from across. They could come up and bust through that and then come back down before. So something like this would be a extreme possibility. Here, 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 something like that. That's an extreme possibility. So, but well, let's see what current price action brings us this coming week. But this is the possibilities based on the chart that I'm looking at. It's hard to make calls. I've been really lucky to be able to make long-term calls before, but this would be something I'd look at. I only look at the weekly as well and see what it's showing. Yeah, that this area here is just begging. You got this 2-week order block here. The 3-week order block is here. That hasn't been touched yet, by the way. So I would look at that as a pretty strong indicator that this is probably going to get a rejection to the downside. I would, yeah, this would be the only concern that I have is this area here. They did not sweep liquidity here. If they would have swept liquidity here first, I think we'd have a really strong potential for a hard down move long term. That's why I think they're going back north. So I think they'll come boom, boom to boom. Boom, boom to boom. That sounds really encouraging to me. I think we're going to go up here into this zone, have a push down, and then we'll push back up. This is the weekly chart. So this is definitely a long-term play. But same thing when the stock market does what it does, this is in play. If they would have swept this liquidity beforehand, I'd probably think differently. But on the weekly chart, I think it could look something like this. Up, down, up, down. Something to that effect. I'm glad I'm documenting all this. Guess we're going to find out how good I really am. At least I can short-term trade. Been lucky to make some pretty good calls on the long-term stuff as well. I wish I could take all the credit, but had some really good people help me along the way. And that's why this year I'm giving back so much. Who's ready to do a drawing? Anybody ready? Anybody got, well, before we do that, anybody got questions? Because I would like to house a couple of questions if you guys have them. If you don't, that's fine. No big deal. But who's got questions, if any? You can put them in the general chat inside of the Discord community, or you can put them in the chat on the YouTube channel. I don't know if the Facebook relays stuff over. If there's comments, I'm not sure how Twitter and Facebook do, but I know I'm live in both of those as well. For now. For now. Yeah, man, let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited. Anybody? Let me check over here on the Discord. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I will ask a favor. I've asked nothing of you guys before, but I want to help as many people as possible. So while you guys are thinking about questions, let me go ahead and explain something. I'm taking 20 people on to personally mentor. 20. I can't do any more than that at a time. I may do another group after this. It all depends on my time. Absolutely trade options for sure. Oh, we could talk about that Apple option really quick, but I'll do that. So mentoring 20, by the way, if y'all can't tell, I'm ADD as hell, by the way. I'm in an Apple option right now that I called. I believe it was on the annual last Sunday that I did. I called an Apple option. I'm in now, personally in it. Think at my strike price, I think was 126 ish, maybe 126.25 with a target price of 146.45, I believe is what it was. On a 30, I think a 36-day expiration. So I'm kind of new to options, but I like it. How about TSLL as a trade instead of Tesla? So, okay, my mentorship. I'm taking on 20. Um, each person, I'm gonna try to do 1 hour. It's gonna sound obnoxious because people are like, "Why are you doing?" My wife is even like, "You're an idiot. You could charge for this." I don't want to charge for it. Okay, so I don't care where you're at in your trading journey. I don't care. I don't care if you're brand new and you've never seen a chart before, or if you've got 10 years experience and you're just looking to crush the markets intraday or crush the markets better. We work together, we find a way, find a path, whatever it is. I'm taking on 20 people. Newbie wise, brand new traders that have no experience, I'm limiting to 5. Those are going to take the majority of my time. The whole time that I'm taking new traders, a lot of times I'm going to be recording and sending you videos, because I'm going to put together a newbie course for people that are just getting into trading that I'm going to put in our Discord group. It'll be free. Don't That's just going to be free. It's going to be a free course, but I want to be able to help new traders get started the right way, get them started on the right path. It's taken me years to get to where I am. It's taken the right people, coming across the right people, having conversations with the right people to get me to where I am. I went through every strategy you can think about. If it's online, I promise you I've tried it. Remember, I'm a programmer by trade. So for me to automate something and look at a 20-year back test, I mean, it's a day or 2 or 3 worth of work, depending on how complex it is. And then I can tell you if it really is real or if it's just somebody that had some dumb luck, caught a hot streak, and they these idiot gurus online. I'm not going to call any names out, but these idiot gurus online that go out and they're claiming they're flipping these accounts from $100 to 10,000 or $500 to 100,000 or a million or whatever they're doing. They're complete idiots. They've blown account after account after account after account. They've demo after demo. They've manipulated numbers. There's all kinds of ways to do things. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. I'm trying to be as real as possible. I'm a funded trader. I'm taking 3 funded challenges. Four funded challenges right now that are all connected. I started one week before last. It's at, I don't know. Let's just look. Let's just look. Why talk about it? Let's just look at it. This is with the funded trader, by the way. Um, this particular account is a $300,000 account, and the current profit on this account is just over 5%. That's where I stand. This is a $300,000 demo account, phase 1, funded trader. I'm trying to add $1 million over the next 4 weeks, next 6 weeks. I'm trying to add $1 million to my funding portfolio, which would put me over $2 million total funded. That's my goal. Okay. I wanted to do this in January. It's really hard to pass these in January. It's hard to pass them anytime, but it's really hard to pass in January because price action's not picked up yet, right? The market hasn't shown us a good quarterly direction. And so it's hard to do, but it is still possible. As I showed you, there are some times in the market that you could strike, just like we did this week. We had 2 good moments. We struck in those moments. We took advantage of those situations. We had very little drawdown. We have nice market price action afterwards. It's just the volume's a little bit lower right now. So that's where we stand. All right. So mentorship, 5 newbies, 15. You can be anywhere in your journey you want to be. I'm going to put out on tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to put a form out that you're going to fill out. Okay. The first 20 people to fill the form out, we're going to have a conversation one-on-one via Zoom to find out if I'm a good mentor. If any of the 20 that fill the form out first choose that if we think that it's not going to be a good fit for their journey and there's going to be a better path for them, I'll open backup spots as they come. But you're going to have to dedicate your time. I'm willing to dedicate my time for you free of charge if you're willing to put the time in to learn. I ask one thing when we do calls like we're doing tonight, when we do this Zoom or this live stream, or when we're doing things like this, I'm not even using Zoom. I don't even know why I said that. I do use Zoom for one-on-one stuff. But if all I ask is that after we get done, if you guys will go to social media and just tell people what you think and tag me. That's all I ask. It's a testimonial. I'm trying to grow a following so I can help as many people as I can grow. That's it. I have no underlying agenda. I don't have anything for sale. Will I have something for sale in the future? Absolutely will. 100%. Don't know when, don't know what, don't know how. I know that I will at some point, As of right now, today, next week, I don't have anything for sale. I have no immediate plans to put out anything for sale. Um, Maybe one day I'll become a New York Times best-selling author. I don't know what that means anymore. It used to mean something years ago, but I don't know. Um, I don't know what I'll ever do. All I do care about helping people, and that's where I'm at. That's what I want to do, and that's what I want to spend this year doing. I want to help as many people as possible. I want to help as many people prepare for what I think is coming as I can. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. That's what my goal is to help as many freaking people prepare for what I believe is coming, for what the market is showing us, for the manipulation that's happening worldwide throughout the media. I don't care what country you're in. If we can communicate back and forth, I'm going to do my damn level best to help you. Period. No underlying agenda, no nothing. Period. All right. Anybody got questions before I move on to the drawing? Oh, while you thinking questions, let me pull up the Apple chart really quick. I chose Apple just randomly, by the way. And then one day I was looking at the chart during the somebody had asked me to look at it via text message. I'm gonna go to the daily. So, and I'll show you why I think what I think. All right. So, number one, we just swept liquidity this week. We had a new low that had formed here. We've now swept that liquidity. Okay. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. They drove it down hard. Okay. This is on the daily chart. I'm targeting 146.45. I am willing to take the first look at selling out of that option at this space right here. Okay. So I'm looking at this particular space as where I may sell the option early. All right. Why 146 ish? Okay. I'm going to draw that line here. This is the daily chart. We're going to go to the 4-hour chart and we're going to look at it. See why? I just threw that on there. Right. Randomly, not random, by the way. This is an area that I think price would come back to. The reason I think there could be a pretty staunch possibility of selling early. This gap's going to be tough. We've gotten my reversal confirmation on a lower time frame, which I'll go and show you in just a second. But retailers, everyone looks at this. So as price is moving back to this area, I will probably get out of that early with the potential profit that are ahead. If the profit is right. If the profit is right. So I have an option that I executed, I believe at 126.25. Let me go down to the lower time frame here. We had this aggressive move up here. Okay. I was looking to see how we rejected from this area here. Okay. We have this set of equal lows here. Kind of makes me nervous, but I think we're coming back there long term. Long term. Okay. I got in once price exploded from here. I got in right after this candle closed here. Okay. And that's the option that I have in place right now. Okay. What am I looking at? What are my possibilities? I'm already in profit, by the way. But I'm looking, this area here is an area of interest for mine. I'm going to see what price action does there. This is that area that we discussed earlier. Here is the top area strike price 38 days away. So we're going to see how we're moving in the first 2 weeks before I get out of that. All right. Any questions? That is a quick update on the Apple option that we talked about a couple of live streams ago. Or are we ready to give some stuff away? All right. So I don't know how to do this without showing everyone's information because I've never done this live before. All I know is this thing is ready to award and I'm about to click a button. I'm about to click on a button. There's your winner. There is your winner. If this is you, reach out to me and we will get you your 25K funded account challenge set up and ready to roll. It doesn't give me names. I don't have name as a option here under this. I probably should. But the button was clicked. Here is the winner. He earned extra entries. He's confirmed his email. Some of you haven't confirmed your email, by the way. I don't know if that affects how it draws or whatever. Um, but this is him. Congratulations. Reach out to me on the Discord community and let me know. We'll get you locked in. That has been the live stream update for the evening. I look forward to hearing all of you guys, hearing back from all of you guys. Please take the time. That's all I ask. Take the time to tag me on Twitter, Facebook, wherever, telling me what you thought of this weekly overview, how you feel about moving forward, and what I can do to help you. And we'll do that. So you guys have a blessed evening. I look forward to seeing all of you soon, hearing from all of you soon, and we'll see you on the other side.